Money Talks with Ed Marshall is brought to you by Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, Ed Marshall and Associates, and the NOLA Defender.
Hello and welcome to Money Talks. I'm your host, Ed Marshall. Well, it's tax time, and what to remember when it's time to file those documents, together with so much other paperwork. Well, when we come back, a representative from the IRS will help us sort things out, along with providing lots of other helpful information. So stay with us because Money Talks is on the way. Welcome back. The Internal Revenue Service is already accepting individual returns for 2017. And while much attention has been paid to the federal tax overhaul, they said provisions really will not affect much in terms of your taxes for the 2017 year, according to a number of tax experts. But to make sure you have the latest information from the federal government, please welcome back to the show Dee Harris Stepner with the Internal Revenue Service. Dee, so glad to have you back on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You know, some people say, oh, you have somebody from the IRS. I said, well, they're not that frightening.
We're here to help.
You really are. You really are. So let's tell our audience, what is the filing deadline for the 2017 return?
Well, actually, they get a couple of extra days.
Oh, okay.
When the tax filing deadline falls on a weekend, you normally get until the next business day, which is normally that Monday. Mm-hmm. But because Monday, April 16th is a holiday in D.C., not for us, it's Emancipation Day in D.C., but under the tax law, if there's a holiday in Washington, D.C., and the tax filing deadline falls on that date, you get another day. So your returns are actually due Tuesday, April 17th this year. So it's kind of been happening the last couple of years. You get a little bit extra time, especially for those late filers.
Okay. Well, that's good to know, because I'll miss my best friend's birthday. He was born on the 15th, so I don't have to worry about giving him a gift this year. So I forgot. Well, tell us about, a lot of people need help in terms of getting some type of tax assistance. There is some free tax assistance in terms of preparation. Is there not, for people who are in certain financial categories?
Yes. There's several different types of assistance that's available. We have the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, and that helps low to moderate income taxpayers, people whose income is below a certain dollar threshold, and they can get their tax return prepared for free. We have IRS trained volunteers that work with a number of community partners in assisting people in getting their tax returns prepared. This Saturday, there's going to be Super Saturday, Super Tax Day. Okay. And it's a lot of the community partners are coming together in the New Orleans community to help people prepare their tax returns. So I would encourage them to call 211 or to also go to our website, irs.gov, and they can do irs.gov/VITA, V-I-T-A, to find out more about free tax prep. Right. In specific, you can actually put in your zip code and find out, a tax prep VITA site that's close to you. We also have what's called tax counseling for the elderly. Yes. So that's for people age 60 and older. So it's kind of talking about those issues that impact seniors, and that is through AARP. So you can visit AARP's website, or you can also call 888-227-7669 to get more information. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're comfortable in preparing your tax return, there's also an online option called Free File.
Okay.
And there's two aspects to Free File. This is an alliance with software companies making tax preparation software available to people whose income is $66,000 or less. Okay. So you're getting the same brand name software that you would normally purchase for free through this alliance that we have with the Free File partners. If your income is over $66,000, we also have what's called the Free File fillable forms. So it's the electronic version of IRS forms, It does some basic math computations for you, but you have to know how to prepare your tax return. You have to know what credits and deductions you're entitled to, but it's, free electronic forms that you can use, and you can file electronically for free.
That's great. So this helps people, as I call it, demystify and
Right.
kind of calm the nerves when you're filing the taxes. That's some good information to know. And let's talk a little bit now about for someone who actually uses a preparer.
Okay.
How do you go about finding a good preparer? Because some people, they can really take people to the hill for that.
Right, and you need to be careful when you're choosing a preparer because that person is going to have access to a lot of your personal financial information. So you want to make sure that you're choosing someone that's reputable. So one way to check is to check with the Better Business Bureau. Check references for this particular preparer. If someone is paid to prepare your tax return, they have to sign your tax return, and they should also have a preparer tax ID number. We call it a PTIN. We like acronyms. That number should also be on your return. One thing you should also know that, their fees should be, out there for you to know what it is. You shouldn't have to guess or ask what their fees are. They're going to advertise what their fees are, and they're going to tell you up front. We encourage you to be wary of somebody who bases their fee on a percentage of your refund or claim they can get a bigger refund than anyone else.
Right.
Also, make sure that you always get a copy of your tax return and have your preparer review it with you. If there's something that you don't understand, you're paying this person to prepare your return, so they should answer your questions. So you should always make sure that before you sign the return that you've reviewed it with the preparer, and never ever sign a blank return.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of returns are filed electronically, so you are signing electronically.
Sure.
So you're providing often a pen for them to use, or you're signing for the preparer to sign the return for you. Just make sure that you've reviewed that return with the preparer before you do that.
That's great. And of course, I definitely want to zoom in on this because you hear so many people who say, somebody from the IRS called me, or they're saying I better send them money now before I file my tax. Would you please speak to that? Because a lot of times, especially our elderly,
Right.
they terrify and they end up getting caught in those traps.
Right. And I had a question. My brother asked me, he says, well, when do our parents stop filing tax returns? Well, as long as you have income that requires you to file a tax return, you'll need to file a tax return. But if somebody calls you out of the blue saying that you owe money and you haven't received a notice in the mail from us, or you're not aware of owing money, you should be very suspicious, because we're not going to do that. If you owe money, you're going to get several notices in the mail about that. We're going to try to make sure you have an explanation and understand why you owe. So a lot of these scam artists call you, they threaten you with arrest,
Yes.
they tell you can't talk to somebody, or after you pay what you owe, then you can get answers. That should tell you this is a scam. That is not the IRS. We're not going to do that.
Right. I thank you so much for being with us. We had a lot of other questions, but we have to cut it there.
I know.
And people can always go to the irs.gov and get more information.
Yes.
Dee, thank you for being with us, and we wish you a happy carnival season and
Thank you.
enjoy. Well, filing taxes, of course, is not just for individuals. Corporations, large and small, and even farm cooperatives, they must also pay Uncle Sam. More when we come back. Welcome back. We're excited to welcome back to Money Talks a gentleman we interviewed last month about the number of foods grown in Louisiana that contribute to our country's economy. And the farm cooperatives, of course, are affiliated with those products. Harvey Reed joins us now to talk about cooperatives and their needs. And one of those needs, of course, is to keep their business on par with the IRS. Harvey, thanks for being with us. And of course, we want to talk about that. We just talked to Ms. Stepter about the individual returns. So we want to talk to you about the cooperatives. How does first of all, the new tax bill, let's talk about that. How does the new tax bill benefit cooperatives?
Well, in this case here, the new tax bill will benefit a lot of cooperatives as well as other farm organizations and also agriculture businesses and producers. What they did this time in this particular bill, they inserted a new section in there that would, it was section 199A. That section was placed in there to help cut some of the taxes that those organizations was paying in the past. Earlier, they was paying over like 35% or more, in taxes. In this case here, under the 199A that was inserted into the new tax bill, actually it went in there on the second time because the first time they more or less missed it, but this time they got it straight. And it'll be 20%, which means that the cooperatives take a 20% cut, as well as those members of the cooperatives and other farm organizations, they'll take that 20% cut too. But you have to be a qualified business to go in and do that. So each one has to be a qualified business. That's why it's so important that smaller cooperatives and smaller business entities should be aware of this section 199A. I'm going to repeat it again, 199A.
They need to know that.
They need to know that because
Be a significant
that's going to be very, very vital to them, because it's important that their accountant or whoever preparing their taxes or the CPA firm have a clear understanding what the 199A means to that particular organization. It can save them thousands and thousands or millions of dollars, all depends on their sizes.
Okay. And speaking of preparation, who do you recommend that when the cooperatives are preparing their papers, especially with this 199A and that kind of thing, who should they look to try to help them in making sure that they get the filings correctly?
They should first of all find out, do they prepare, they past prepared, or their present prepared understands that section 199A and get the full definition from that, or call the Internal Revenue Service so they can explain that to them. But most of all, on a broad scale, we normally would use the National Society of Accounting for Cooperatives.
Okay. So there's a place.
Right. They're a larger firm that does that, or they could give that particular smaller firm information on how to pass this savings on to their client that they're preparing those taxes for.
That's fantastic. So there's somebody that's there, and I'm sure some of them don't know that exists. So
they don't,
do
because
now.
they do now. That is my position, to let everybody know that this is vital to a lot of cooperatives out there. Section 199A that was inserted purposely for those cooperatives, businesses, producers, and everyone else. And it may apply to some other folks who have cooperatives as well that are non-agriculture. But Section 199A is something everybody should look forward to, working out and getting the full definition and get the funds back that they really need without paying the 35%. Now they're down to 20%.
And anything that we've left out, or they need more additional information, what number should those cooperatives get?
They can call the National Society at the 937-222-6707. I'll repeat it, 937-222-6707.
Okay. We have just a little bit more time. I understand that you all are having a convention coming here, which also helps the coffer of the greater New Orleans area.
Yes, it does. It's not really a convention. Our annual meeting. Our annual meeting for the National Council of Farmers Cooperatives, and also for the National State Conference, State Council of Farmers Cooperatives. So it's 2 in 1. We're able to get have them to have the annual meeting in New Orleans again for the third time, which is good, because you'll have a lot of the large cooperatives that will be in town, and also those members representing the National Conference of State Council Cooperatives, we also will be present at the meeting.
Well, please welcome them here for us, and tell them to spend lots of money.
Okay.
Harvey, thanks for being with us.
Thank
we
you.
Appreciate you. And when we come back, we'll have some important information from a local Crime Stoppers organization that you'll want to know about. So please stay with us. Welcome back. We all have seen the news in parts of our country where what's called active shooters have taken the lives of innocent people, from churches to concerts. Crime Stoppers of Greater New Orleans has joined with law enforcement officials across this 9-parish area to try to help large groups such as churches and other big organizations have knowledge to hopefully help prevent occurrences like that from happening in our metro area. Joining me now is the Crime Stoppers President and CEO, Ms. Darlene Costanza. Darlene, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Ed.
This is such an important thing. Tell us how it came about in terms of what's going on now with getting people prepped for knowing about active shooters.
Definitely. Well, as we've heard of more instances in the news nationally of these things happening with churches, we knew that our members here, our organizations here, really need to be better prepared and understand what the situation is about, what leads up to that situation, and what to do if you become, in the middle of an active shooter. So the first thing we wanted our pastors to understand is many times it's not a terrorism act, it's actually a domestic abuse act, some type of relationship issue.
People who know each other.
They
yeah.
know each other. So part of the training is going to be about read the signs, kind of know what to look for, kind of know how you need to intervene maybe before the opportunity comes in with an active shooter coming into the church. But I'm just thrilled that NOPD had the idea too with us,
Yeah.
and we were both working kind of independently, joined together. And they're going to offer a PowerPoint of all the different steps and all the statistics and kind of the action plans
Yeah,
you need to do.
yeah.
And then we're going to allow them to actually answer questions individually with the churches.
And this is going to take place February 24th.
Saturday the 24th.
Okay, and it's going to be out at Greater St. Stephen's in New Orleans East.
Correct, and
Okay.
10 to 1.
Okay, and we're asking pastors who to come out and also other dignitary people who basically handle large organization groups to also come out and have that knowledge on hand.
Correct. I mean, it's anybody who's tasked with the responsibility of the security within the church during their church services. This is a very large church, so
Yeah,
we
it
expect
is.
several hundred to
Yeah, it's
several,
a great
possibly up to
ticket.
2,000. But you do
Beautiful
need to
structure.
pre-register so
Yeah.
we can be prepared for
We
you.
definitely want them to pre-register. But also right now we want to take a look at a PSA that Darlene and New Orleans Police Chief Michael Harrison did that you will be seeing throughout the next few weeks. It's very important, so let's take a look.
Hello. In light of recent shooting attacks on faith communities in other parts of the country, we at the NOPD feel the time was right to speak with your congregations about active shooter situations. Partnering with Crime Stoppers, we are inviting all pastors to join us on Saturday, February 24th, to learn information on preventing, diffusing, and surviving an active shooter scenario. By knowing the signs, you can help prevent a tragedy.
Open to all faiths, we're inviting you, your safety team, and those entrusted with this important duty of protecting the congregation to participate. The location will be Greater St. Stephen's Church, with the presentation starting at 10 a.m. and concluding at 1 p.m. The day will include time for individual questions with law enforcement leaders and refreshments.
We value our partnership with our clergy and hope to provide you with the information needed to feel safe in your places of worship. As part of the presentation, each church will be provided a helpful printed fact sheet to have further discussions with their members.
Please share this with your fellow churches and register to join us by contacting Crime Stoppers at info@crimestoppersgno.org or calling 837-8477. And we look forward to seeing you there.
Okay. And again, to register, that was up on the screen, but we definitely want people to register so we'll know how many people planning to be out there. And again, that's 837-8477. And again, that's February 24th. That's a Saturday at Greater St. Stephen's Church out in New Orleans East, and all are welcome. And of course, we also want to mention something else that Crime Stoppers is doing, and this is throughout the year, not just during Carnival, whatever, throughout the year, and it's called the Lock Your Car. Very quickly.
Right. Lock it or lose it. It's important that we remember the best way we can help fight crime is not to make ourselves a target. So don't leave belongings in your car. Secure them, lock them in a glove compartment or trunk. Guns. Take your guns in the evening and bring them and secure them in your home. Number one issue we're concerned about is guns stolen out of these cars. And most importantly, lock your vehicle. It's simple. Remind yourself, remind your neighbors, come up with a good plan. But we have lots of materials, like these yard signs, available for you to remind yourself and your neighbors to lock your car.
Alrighty, and they can, of course, go to those same numbers and get information on that as well. Darlene, thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. All right, when we come back, we'll have more information for you, so don't go anyplace. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Delgado Community College's track record of changing lives and helping to qualify residents for the workforce is still going strong, and is also going strong in terms of businesses who want to grow and become more successful. And of course, for that, the Goldman Sachs 10,000 program at Delgado Community College is in full swing. And here to tell us more about that program is a good friend of mine, Mr. David Payton, and of course, David, you're the executive director of the Goldman Sachs program at Delgado. Going on what now, its 7th year or 6th year?
The program has been going on for 7 years.
7
In fact,
years.
we just started year 7 with the program. I've been
Fantastic.
the executive director for about a year now.
Okay. Tell our audience how this Goldman Sachs program works in conjunction with workforce and businesses.
Sure. So the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program is a grant-funded program through the Goldman Sachs Foundation, where they provide us with the funding and the curriculum to train small business owners how to grow and scale their business. It's done at Delgado Community College, of course. We are one of 13 locations around the United States that have an identical program just like it. And what we do is we take about 30 business owners. Our goal is to graduate at least a minimum 90 a year, but we take these business owners and we give them a very high class, very practical education in about a 13-week time frame.
That's so good. And we want to say that this is an absolute free program to the business owners who want to be involved.
That's correct.
That's great.
The program is funded by the foundation, and all of the expenses are covered through the grant. Again, it's about 13 weeks, and you just add commitment. Business owner, just come in and add commitment.
Right. And now, it's not just Louisiana businesses, but businesses that are close by, like in surrounding states like Mississippi or Texas.
So it's a national program, and we have other locations. We're the node between Houston and Miami. Okay. So we have folks that drive sometimes 3 and 4 hours down to actually participate in the program.
Okay. Now tell us, do you have to be a certain size or educational structure to be a business that can participate in the Goldman Sachs program at Delgado?
So if you're a business owner and you've been in business for at least 2 years, have $150,000 in gross revenue and above, and have 4 or more employees, that makes you eligible for the program. It's a competitive process to get in, and it's a two-step application process. And you asked about the educational levels.
Right.
Anyone can be in this program. We have people with GEDs, and we actually have people with MBAs and MDs that actually come through the course. These are folks who they want to grow their business, and what we're trying to do is give them the secret sauce to do so. This curriculum was developed by Babson College, which is the #1 entrepreneur college in the United States for 21 straight years.
Yeah. Now, what is the biggest impact and takeaway for business owners that get involved in this program?
So again, we give them the recipe to actually grow and scale their business. We change their mindset, their behavior. We give them the information that they need to make the adjustments in their business. Folks come in, and sometimes the business is running them, and they're not running the business. So we teach them about things like systems and processes. Sure. Of course, leadership, negotiations. We know a lot of folks that might be running multi-million-dollar businesses, but maybe they don't know actually how to read or make decisions using their financial statements. We provide all of this type of education for them so that they can leave out of there a whole lot more prepared. In addition to that, we help them while they're in the program to write a growth plan with 5-year financial projections. The success rate of the folks who finish our program, at the end of the day, we have a 99% graduation rate. We provide them with a business advisor, an MBA, a consultant throughout the 13 weeks that they're in the program to help them produce their deliverables, which is this growth plan. 69% of the people who finish our program report within 6 months that they see revenue growth. Within 30 months, we see 82% of the folks with revenue growth. 48% of the people who graduate the program within 6 months are hiring new people. Within 30 months, 61%. Huge impact. 85% of the people who finish our program do business with each other, and 80+% of the people within 30 months report if they need to get revenue, if they need capital, they're successful at doing so because of their experience with the program as well.
That's fantastic. And I want to parlay into that. We also have what's called the Circles of Excellence program that I helped create there, along with Carol Wise and Janice Chaffin many years ago. And a number of your graduates actually have been selected as part of the Delgado Circles of Excellence because they have improved their companies so much, and they're staying here within the confines of the metro area and giving back to our economy.
Yeah, we've been successful. So of course, you actually have to submit people for that process. And I think last year we had 3 winners. This year we had 2 folks that have graduated the program. We call them scholars, but once they finish their alumni.
Exactly. So how do people apply?
So you can go online. The application is totally digital.
Okay.
The website is www.10ksbapply, or you can just put in 10ksb apply, and it'll bring you right to the website. It'll explain everything to you about the program. There are videos that you can watch to find out additional information. If you need additional help, they're welcome to call our office.
Yeah.
Their office number is 504-671-5555. Most of the time, everything they need is on that website at the 10KSB Apply, but we're always willing to bridge somebody to it. It's a gift, and we're trying to give this gift to small business owners.
We appreciate it, because I can tell you personally from seeing the people that we've selected for the circles that it does work.
It
David,
does.
thanks for being with us. Come back again and extend my congratulations to all the people that are working with that program at Delgado.
And Ed, I'll tell you this, we do have a class that we're trying to fill in May, and there's a February 13th deadline for that class.
Okay.
So we want to invite business owners to actually apply so that we can give that gift to them as well.
So I need to get it in right now.
That's right.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All righty. We're going to have more news when we come back. We're going to be talking about giving back and a man that's also just totally helping to create a new future in terms of teens and youth in our community. We'll tell you more, so stay with us. Well, we told you a couple of months ago that we were starting a new segment called Let's Make a Difference, where we have basically just regular individuals who come in and try to help change the lives to make them better for other people. And with that being said, this one gentleman also does a whole lot to change the lives of young people, and it involves technology. Of course, we know the world of technology and computers is changing our lives forever. And they're also changing the lives of young people who not only want to use computers, but actually want to know how they work and how to repair them as possibly their chosen career fields. The man that's making all of this happen for a number of years, we want you to meet him, and that's Mr. Joshua Williams.
Thank
Good
you,
to see
Ed.
you.
Thank you, Ed.
A local graduate of Dillard University, from what I
Yes.
understand,
Yes.
and has been doing this program with young people. Tell us about how the program works.
Well, what we did was created a STEM program because we wanted to bring about awareness and exposure to STEM skills. Of course, we know that technology is a moving field. Kids are learning technology in schools, but they're not learning that real aspect of skill level training
Real time.
in technology. So we have classes that we're offering in robotics. We have classes in application development. We have applications in gaming. We have applications in 3D printing and manufacturing and computer assembly. And we just try to bring about awareness of a different type of training where kids would be excited about learning and also could actually look at having a good skill for a good job.
Well, I tell you, I personally came out to Mount Hermon Baptist Church in Avondale about a month and a half ago, where a number of your young people were graduating
Yes.
from the program. And I tell you, they were super excited. They were talking about stuff that I had no idea what they were talking about, digging in those computers. And this was a 5-week program for these young people. How do you go about getting the students that actually come to the program?
A lot of support has came from the local churches.
Okay.
We have been to over 10 churches locally in New Orleans, and Mount Hermon is just our last recent stop. We will probably be attending a church on the next one, and the recruitment has been through the churches.
Okay.
And they've been very positive.
That is fantastic. Give us some of your success stories. Where are some of these young people who started out with your program? Where are they today?
We've had, of course, graduates of Dillard University in computer science. We have graduates of Xavier in computer science. We have a couple kids that are in school right now, working on their computer science degree. So, and then we got a few of them that's actually came back and actually now participating as an instructor.
And that's what I wanted to mention too. I think that is so neat that that young people that went through the program with you who are now actually out of college and they're actually living here and contributing to our economy, saying, I want to go back and also help these skills with other young people, like some of the young people that you saw in some of those pictures. These young people were excited. And this all happens on Saturdays.
Saturdays.
And how do you get kids motivated to get out and come down on Saturday? But they were like, you just think it was a big picnic because they were so excited for those doors to open.
How you start off it, nobody wants to get up on Saturday. They went to school 5 days, Monday through Friday, and Saturday's not a morning they want to get up and go back to school. So what you have to do is make those activities and those skill sets fun for them. And we talk about, we have different callers to call in from all over the country in the STEM related fields. You know, from hospital administrators to engineers to gaming coders, a few. I try to get as many type of technology people as we can to introduce them to. Fantastic. We've actually had an astronaut to call in.
That's super.
So we're kind of excited about getting them active and participating in this new skill of training.
Well, we say congratulations to you for the concept, and congratulations to the young people who have gone through the program. And of course, for people out there saying, hey, I would like for my son or my daughter to get involved in this, where can they call and contact you?
They could call 504-261-0383.
All right.
And ask for any information regarding the program.
Sounds good. Thank you again for being with us, and have no doubt we'll have you back on. Okay?
Thank you, Ed.
Appreciate that. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the show, so stay right here. Well, we're out of time. Thanks for being with us. Until next month, do something good for yourself, do something good for someone else. And to remember, always stay in peace, not pieces. We'll see you.
Money Talks with Ed Marshall is brought to you by Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, Ed Marshall and Associates, and the NOLA Defender.